harvest is very frenetic. There's the week prior to harvest where you're kind of on pins every day, waiting for that day when you're actually going to go. Usually we make the call the day before or so. Once that day finally comes, it's a bit of a relief, but it's still a panic because it's going to be a very long day for everyone. So the more time you spend with one vineyard, obviously the more comfortable you're going to be with how the chemistry and how the flavor profile works. There are a couple elements that we consider before picking.
For the Chardonnay, we're looking for actually a little bit more numbers than we are specific flavors. Chardonnay is a little bit more of a blank slate than Pinot Noir is, so we're fairly particular about picking at certain sugars and looking for certain acid, and generally within those parameters the flavors are usually there. So at that point in time we'll take them up on the crush pad, we will bring the bins up, we'll start dumping the bins whole cluster into the press. Once we get the press full, we'll start it spinning and the juice starts happening. We collect the juice, it goes up into a tank. We leave it in the tank for 2 days. We drop the wine to about 58 degrees for 24 to 36 hours and then get it right into barrels. Pinot Noir is a bit of a different animal. We're really looking for physiological maturity and flavors irregardless of the numbers, and it's a little bit more of a gut for me.
For Pinot Noir, again, from the vineyard, it's kind of the same beginning. We want to be first thing in the morning, we want it cool. It's very, very important with Pinot Noir that the fruit come in cool. We put it onto the sorting table because we need to sort out very meticulously all the leaves, all the bad bunches if there are any in there, anything that's foreign matter to get it out. And then it goes into the stemmer. And it's much more important that we get all of that leaves and mog material other than grapes out, because the nature of Pinot Noir is to be in open fermenters for 7 or 10 days. So if you have junk in there, it will be there for 7 or 10 days, and that's not something you want to have happen. So you have to make sure you do a nice meticulous sorting, comes off the stems, and then we're just left with the grape. And the grapes go into open fermenters, and they'll cold soak there for 3 days. Cold soaking meaning we keep the temperature down, keep them cool, so that fermentation doesn't start. And then we'll let fermentation start after 3 to 5 days. It's a winemaker call. And then it'll go through its entire primary fermentation in these open fermenters. During that time, a cap will form on top, and you have to punch down the cap about 5 times a day to keep it circulating. So it'll make a crust, and if bacteria can start to grow on the crust if it doesn't stay moisturized, and that's a very bad thing. That's going to ruin your wine instantly. And after it does its thing for about its entire primary in the open fermenters, then we pump it into the barrels. Most of our estate wine, in fact almost all of our estate wine, never is pressed.
I mean, we actually have a pretty high degree of control, which is again the whole estate thing that makes everything so nice. We want to grow the best fruit we can and make the wine in the vineyard. If doing that methodology, getting the wine made in the vineyard, it makes it a lot easier on the crush pad. All the steps during the cultural season, we want to make sure we're on time and do the best we can. We're hoping that the wine comes in and we're more babysitters than technicians or manipulators, and so it all starts out here.